Ever wondered how a chance encounter could alter the course of your life? Let's delve into the intriguing tale of Fernanda. A captivating woman of 45, Fernanda is a wife and a mother, happily married for over 15 years to a man she deeply admires. Despite her loyalty, she, like many others in long-term marriages, knows all too well the ebb and flow of passion. Fernanda's life had been a tapestry of experiences, woven with threads of past relationships and fleeting romances, some exhilarating, some complicated. But in her husband, she found a sense of stability, an average yet dependable love that allowed her to envision a future, a mutual dream they could chase together. In the midst of this settled life, Fernanda found herself at a restaurant near her workplace, where she unexpectedly bumped into a man from her past. An ex-lover, a man whose allure had once captivated her. He was handsome, robust, the perfect blend of strength and charm. When he spotted her, he approached and joined her at her table, sparking a conversation that sent her heart racing. Their exchange was a mere 30 minutes, but it felt as if time had stopped. A connection was rekindled, and what started as a chance meeting at a restaurant soon turned into regular lunch dates. This man, like Fernanda, was married and a father, burdened by the demands of professional life and familial responsibilities. He too longed for a respite, a moment for himself. As you might guess, these lunches soon blossomed into something more. Fernanda found herself drawn to this man, her heart pounding with anticipation at the mere thought of their meetings. These encounters breathed new life into Fernanda's existence. She rediscovered her zest for life, her desire to feel, to experience, to enjoy. And so, a simple lunch invitation turned into a series of exciting encounters. Can a series of lunches really be just lunches? This is where we find Fernanda, at the precipice of a brewing affair. As days turned into weeks, these seemingly innocent lunch meetings started to evolve into something more. These were no longer just casual catch-ups with an old flame. They were the kindling of a passionate affair that was about to set Fernanda's world ablaze. Fernanda, a devoted wife and mother, found herself drawn to this man from her past. Their conversations were a mix of reminiscing about old times and sharing the burdens of their present lives. He too was married and understood the weight of responsibilities that came with a family and a career. Their shared experiences and mutual understanding created an undeniable bond. As these lunch meetings continued, Fernanda found herself changed. She felt a renewed zest for life, an excitement she hadn't felt in years. It was as if she had been sleepwalking through life, and these meetings were the jolt of energy that woke her up. The effects spilled over into her marriage too. As paradoxical as it may sound, her affair was making her a better wife. Her newfound energy and excitement translated into her relationship with her husband. Their love life, which had been tepid for years, started to heat up again. These lunch meetings were like a secret garden for Fernanda, a place where she could escape the mundanity of life, where she could be more than just a wife and a mother. She could be Fernanda, the woman with desires and dreams of her own. These meetings made her feel alive, desired, and seen. As these lunch meetings turned into an affair, Fernanda found herself at a crossroads. She was torn between her love for her husband and her newfound passion, but the affair, it was like a breath of fresh air, a spark that rekindled her zest for life. The affair, in its own way, was revitalizing Fernanda from the inside out. It was like she was rediscovering herself, reclaiming the parts of her that she had forgotten in the hustle and bustle of life. The brewing affair was not just about passion and desire, it was about Fernanda finding herself again. What happens when an innocent car ride turns into a passionate rendezvous? This is where our story takes a captivating turn. Fernanda and her ex found themselves taking an unexpected detour from their usual lunch routine. He had just bought a new car and invited Fernanda to take a ride with him. As they settled into the comfortable seats, the world outside seemed to fade away. The confined space of the car made their proximity even more palpable. The tension in the air was thick, almost tangible. With a gentle yet firm grip, he took Fernanda's hand. It was a simple gesture, but one that carried a sense of intimacy and anticipation. The conversation lulled, replaced by the rhythm of their synchronized breaths. In that moment, they were not two adults burdened with responsibilities, but two individuals drawn together by a magnetic attraction. He leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was both tender and passionate. It was a kiss that woke up every nerve ending in Fernanda's body and left her craving for more. She felt her heart pounding, her skin prickling with goosebumps, and her senses heightened. This wasn't a moment of betrayal or guilt, but one of rediscovery. It was like a spark that reignited Fernanda's zest for life, making her more vibrant, more alive. She found herself more willing in her roles as a wife and a mother, more eager to fulfill her familial duties. Yet, this newfound energy did not stem from guilt or remorse. It was rather a testament to the power of human connection, the sheer strength of an old flame that refused to be extinguished. Their lunches continued, the bond between them growing stronger, their confidences deeper. But the memory of their first kiss, that stolen moment in the car, lingered. It was like a silent promise of more intimate moments to come, a tantalizing preview of the passion that lay ahead. A simple kiss had set a whole new stage for their relationship. It had unlocked a door to a world they were both eager to explore, a world that promised not just forbidden pleasure, but also a chance to rediscover themselves. Can stolen moments in the afternoon reveal a whole new side of oneself? There's a certain thrill in the unexpected, a hidden pleasure in the clandestine, and Fernanda found herself caught in the throes of this whirlwind. She and her ex-lover had been maneuvering their work schedules, pulling strings and making excuses to carve out these precious pockets of time in the afternoon. It was a game of chess, their movements calculated, their strategies refined, and the stakes, their own secret escapades. These stolen afternoons were their shared sanctuary from the mundane. It was a world where they could shed their responsibilities and indulge in the electric connection that seemed to buzz between them. The anticipation was a tangible entity, a delicious tension that had Fernanda counting down the hours till their next rendezvous. And then, one afternoon, their lunches graduated to something more. Something that had Fernanda's heart racing with a wild excitement she hadn't felt in years. It was a trip to a motel, a place where their stolen moments could stretch into stolen hours. Fernanda had prepared for this, her anticipation reflected in the meticulous care she took to dress for the occasion. Tiny panties, a light dress and no bra, she was ready to embrace this new chapter of their afternoon escapades. She was ready to explore the boundaries of her desires, to dive into the deep end of passion, and to surrender to the magnetic pull of her ex-lover. As they drove to the motel, her heart pounded in her chest, a rhythmic symphony of excitement and trepidation. The city passed by in a blur, the familiar landmarks a stark contrast to the unfamiliar thrill of anticipation coursing through her veins. And as they walked into the motel, hand in hand, she felt a rush of freedom, a sense of liberation from the shackles of her everyday life. The anticipation of what was to come had Fernanda on the edge of her seat. This was not just another afternoon escapade, this was the beginning of a new chapter in her life, a chapter where she allowed herself to truly feel, to truly desire, and to truly live. What happens when old flames meet in a place of seclusion? This is where our story takes a turn, as Fernanda and her old flame find themselves alone in a motel room. This is not just any room, but a clandestine sanctuary where they can explore their desires away from the prying eyes of society. The motel encounter was a new chapter for Fernanda. It was a moment of pure, intoxicating liberation, an escape from the routines of her life. As they entered the room, their passion was palpable. The anticipation, the forbidden thrill of it all was like a spark that set Fernanda's world alight. In that motel room, Fernanda felt like a different woman. She wasn't just a wife, a mother, or a professional. She was a woman of desire, a woman who craved and was craved. The pleasure was new, different, and exhilarating. It was a kind of pleasure she hadn't known existed. Her lover was skilled, his touch was electrifying. Every kiss, every caress was a new discovery, a revelation of what pleasure could truly be. She reveled in the novelty of it, the thrill of their secret encounter. She felt for the first time in a long time, truly alive. But it wasn't just the physical pleasure that transformed Fernanda. It was the emotional liberation, the sense of being seen, desired, and understood. This affair was not just about quenching physical thirst, but about rediscovering herself, about experiencing a side of her that had been dormant for years. In that motel room, Fernanda found a new lease on life. She felt rejuvenated, invigorated, and more in tune with herself. She began to see the world through a different lens, a lens of desire and satisfaction. This affair was a catalyst for her, a spark that ignited a flame she didn't know existed. As Fernanda discovered, sometimes life's most thrilling chapters can begin in the most unexpected places. The motel encounter was an unexpected detour in Fernanda's life, a detour that led her down a path of self-discovery, passion, and pleasure.